Welcome to the first USATF Fantasy Show of 2025. I'm your host, James Hill, joined by Jordan Testerman. And today we're going to be making our pick'em picks about the 2025 Indoor Championships presented by Prevagen. The USATF Pick'em Pool is a game available for various meets throughout our season. And the way it works is you pick the correct answers for each question by the start of the featured USATF meet for a chance to win up to $500 in USATF merchandise like the stuff we have on today. Visit usatf.org/pick'em for more information and to play along. All right, so to get this started, we're going to go ahead and give you our locks of the meet for the 2025 USATF Indoor Championships. So the lock, meaning in this situation, what pick we're most confident about on your scorecard. So for me, my lock of the meet is Alexis Holmes in the 400. Watched her at Milrose last weekend, looked incredible. I mean, she's your defending USATF Indoor Champion. I'm looking at the rest of the field for the women's 400, and I just think Alexis Holmes has too much firepower. I think that she finds a way to get that done, and that's my lock of the meet for Indoor Championships.
Yeah, not a bad pick at all. I can't really fault you for that one. Thinking about what questions that we put on the slate for this meet, I think I went with a more debatable pick here, but my lock of the meet is Shelby Houlihan winning the women's 1500, and here's why. As we know, Shelby is returning to competition this season for the first time since 2021. It's been a while, but she reminded us of why she was such a force in women's middle distance running from 2017 through 2020. I mean, she just ran the U.S. number 2 all-time performance in the women's mile at a BU Scarlet and White Invite, 4:20.3. I think she's ready to handle whatever the rest of this field has for her. She looks incredibly fit. She's ready to make a statement in the 1500 here, and I think the added incentive of the fact that this is a selection event for World Indoors, she wants to come out here, win, make a statement, and go on, hopefully be World Indoor Champ. So that's my lock.
Yeah, I mean, Shelby, it's not even a question that she's a force to be reckoned with. I will say be careful about the rest of the field.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have Nikki Hiltz, and Nikki is also a force to be reckoned with. So
no disrespect to the rest of the field. Heather McLean, Nikki Hiltz, they both look great at Milrose. Caitlin Tuohy's been running really well this season. Sinclair Johnson, can never count her out. And there's plenty of talent in this field. I just really think that Shelby's gonna come out here and show the world why she's the favorite. So
with that, now we're gonna move to what event we're looking forward to the most in the Indoor Championships. For me, I'm really looking forward to the men's 800. I firmly believe it's going to take an American record to win this meet. You saw Josh Hoey last week run an American record in Milrose. I do think that question of will an American record be run in the men's 800, I'm going to say yes. I think it's going to be a battle from start to finish in that race.
Could not agree with you more. We're seeing the rise of Josh Hoey, and it's pretty incredible to see. This is a guy that turned pro right out of high school in 2018, and for the last 5 or so years, he just hasn't really found his stride at the professional level. But coming into this 2025 indoor season, he was kind of running a little bit hot at the end of 2024. He got 4th at the Olympic trials, just missing the Olympic team. He ran sub 144 for his last outdoor race of the season last year, and then coming into this year, breaks the national record in the 1K, and then beats Grant Fisher over 1500 at New Balance. And then last week at Milrose, we just saw him break Bryce Hoppel at the end of the race at Milrose and run sub 144 in the indoor 8 there. So, Brandon Miller's also run incredibly fast over 600 this year. So, depending on what the race script is, it might go his way. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to see a great race, and hopefully it results in a new American record.
All right, so next I'm going to give my dark horse pick of the meet. For this one, it's a little bit different because I'm not necessarily referring to an underdog athlete that I think is going to win, but maybe an unpopular pick in one of the questions that is on the sheet for the USATF Pick'em Pool. So my dark horse of the meet is there's a question that asks over or under 3.5 people that will run sub 201 in the women's 800. My pick, my dark horse pick, I think everybody runs under 201. That's only happened once in the last 3 years that over 3.5 people have done it. Keep in mind it's a 6-person final for the women's 800, but I think all 6 in the final run sub 201. Some names to watch in there. You have Olivia Baker, you have Addie Wiley, you have Sage Herta-Klecker, Nia Akins, and that's not even to mention the American record holder in the women's 800, Ajay Wilson. So there's a ton of talent in the women's 800. It's a stacked field. I think there's probably 11 people right now that can run sub 201, and I'm not going to be shocked if all 6 that make the final run under that mark.
Yeah, just looking at the performances in that event so far this year, I mean, it's anybody's race. Like, I think anyone that shows up on the day and toes the line for that final could take the win. So I think, the competitive nature of that race, whether it's tactical, whether someone takes it out really fast, I think it might result in a lot of people running season's best, personal best, and whatnot. I took a little bit of a different angle for my dark horse. This guy, I don't think it's fair to really call him a dark horse because this guy is a seasoned veteran of the sport. The winner of the men's 400, I'm going to say Vernon Norwood. And this is no disrespect to Vernon calling him a dark horse, but I'll ask you this. When's the last time that you picked Vernon Norwood to win a race?
Don't do me like
that. No. I mean, okay, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Vernon is always just a staple in that event.
He is the most reliable, consistent member of Team USA. I have only great things to say about Vernon.
I agree. I think the one thing that is not going Vernon's way is a lot of other people are in the spotlight. Like right now you have Quincy Wilson. Quincy Wilson is all over TV. He's all over every social media post. Everything that has Quincy's name on it is turning to gold. But people forget that Vernon has been around and he knows how to win these races. So to your point, it may be the dark horse from somebody that is not as familiar with the sport, but people that know the sport, they know not to discount Vernon Norwood.
And, he's had some great performances on relays on Team USA. He's been a member of several World Indoor Teams, World Outdoor Championships, the Olympics. But he only has one national title under his belt, and that's in this event at the 2016 Indoors in Portland. So I think he finds gold again 9 years later at Staten Island. And even though, like you said, Quincy Wilson, he's out here breaking U18 records, he's beating pros in the process. That I don't think that's going to change. I think Quincy Wilson's definitely going to be there in the final contending for gold. But I have Vernon taking this one home. Chris Bailey's there. He's an Olympian from last year. You got Matthew Bowling. There's some other names to watch out for in this, but I think this is Vernon's time. So that's my pick. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the USATF Fantasy Show. To make your picks, go to usatf.org/pick'em and answer the 10 questions for your chance to win up to $500 in Team USATF e-gift cards. The picks are due at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, February 23rd, and you can watch the meet at 1 o'clock on NBC that Sunday. Or, if you're in person in Staten Island, go to usatf.org/tickets to secure your tickets now. With that, I'm Jordan Testerman, joined by James Hill. We'll see you next episode.